because y'all know me. If you know me, you know that I have an anxiety. I have an anxiety about being late. It is a deathly fear of mine. I'm not even being funny. Like, really, I have a fear of being late. It's a bad deal. It bothers me that, matter of fact, I drive my kids crazy because they have to be places like go to summer job or volunteer and stuff like that. And they just be chilling. I'm like, wait, what time do you have to be there? Oh, I gotta be there at 10. Oh, well, baby, what are you doing? Well, Dad, it's 9:00. To me, it makes my hands sweat, makes my anxiety go up. I need to get some water. It stresses me. I'm afraid to be late. It's bad. And when I first got married, this is how bad it was. When I first got married, my wife realized that all of my clocks were 20 minutes fast. Because when I started in college, I moved all my clocks 20 minutes fast because I've never wanted to be late. I'm I'm like, it really is a phobia. Is there a phobia? Look it up, everybody. Is there a phobia about being late? Because I guarantee you I have it. It's making my heart rate rise right now as I talk about it. The idea of being late troubles me. And like amongst my friends, everybody knows this. Everybody knows Jason. If you say, Jason, be there at 7:00, don't be surprised I roll up at your house at 5:45. Do not be surprised. Craig knows this. Matter of fact, it's a joke with Craig. Like he'll say, Jason, be there at 7:00 because he knows I'm gonna be there early and I'm gonna help him set up. Like, so he knows it. But I just can't do it. I cannot do it. It drives my family crazy. It makes them go bananas. Like literally my hands are sweating thinking about it. I can't. It bothers me. It bothers me. I know I'm troubled. So my wife, when I first met her, when I met her, and of course we got married, like it would drive her crazy that all of our clocks were 20 minutes fast. I'm like, I can get pretty much anywhere in 20 minutes. I can get pretty much anywhere I want to get in 20 minutes. So if I set it 20 minutes early, I know that I can be wherever I need to be if I think I'm going to be late. It's crazy. I know it's crazy. So we're going to watch this video about this young lady who started a job. She needed the job. She started the job. She got there late 2 times, and we'll talk about what happened. But y'all probably already know what happened the second time she was late. But I just want to know, like, are y'all like it? Because I would have booted her the first day. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm sorry. If I had the opportunity, we would have had a serious conversation about being late the first day. Because that bothered the thought of me thinking about you being late is making me stressed out. Let me bring this video in. Shout out Social Simone. Y'all know I like Social Simone. Yeah, I don't know, man. She's an excellent content creator. I really like her. I need to put her on the screen though, too. There we go. Social Simone. And the title of this one is Wait, I got fired for being 5 minutes late. All right, green hearts in the chat where you can hear. Let's go.
I'm so open and transparent with you guys. Remember how I told you guys I got a job, right? Let's do the update. Yesterday, I'm about to make an OOTD. Mind you, I told them I'm coming late to work. First day, unfortunately, I had to go to the DMV because my license was suspended. Let's wrap that up. Okay, I understand that, but there was literally nothing I could do about it. I get there 30 minutes late. Today, I was running 5 minutes late. I kid you not. I got to the office and I'm thinking I don't really have to send a text. I'll apologize. It's not their business, but I was literally in pain on my period. I was really took me a long time to get out of bed. I was in pain, whatever. I still came a smile on my face. Got there. By the time it looked great, had everything, all my stuff, probably clocked in, trying to clock in, let's just say 10 minutes. She was like, yeah, go ahead and clock out. You're done. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm cooked.
First off, let's go over some terminology. She said she was about to do an OOTD. Hold up. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what that is an outfit of the day. And she's essentially saying she was going to do an outfit of the day for her first day of work, which a lot of people do. You know, you want to look back and be like, okay, I got my job. This is my outfit. Okay, cool. You're going to post it to social media. Very common thing we see today on social media. What's interesting is she said this is her first day of work and she already got fired because she was late, 5 to 10 minutes late. And I understand Mother Nature be kicking some of our tails. Trust me, I get it. She had to do stuff at the DMV. It took longer than she expected. And because of that, her boss was like,
you off to a rough start.
told her to pack it up and don't come back. Now, I want to know, do y'all think that's extreme, being that this is her first day? But I do want to say this. When it is your first couple days of work, you're already on thin ice. You may have got the job over somebody who may have been just as qualified as you. We've seen it time and time and time again, where people either get the job or they almost get the job and then they mess it up somehow. And many times it's because of lateness or not turning in a document, something that might seem very small for many people. But we also do have to remember, in our current society and economy, a lot of people are struggling to find jobs. So I think what's happening,
I must say this. I think it's fair to say we are in an employer's market. You know, sometimes they say we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market. I think we're in an employer's market right now, where the employers, there's not as many jobs out there, and they get the pick of the litter. They get to pick these people that they want to work with. And it's not a situation where it's an employees market where people are, you know, you get 20 job offers as soon as you put your resume on LinkedIn. That's not happening, right? And I think, hey, people need to be responsible. I don't think this is as bad as the video we watched of the young lady who didn't turn in the paperwork, but I think, and you're going to hear a little bit more. She's going to tease it out a little bit, but I do want to give her credit because she does take responsibility that she was the one that was tardy and whatnot. But I think we could have solved some of these problems that she had, especially the 30-minute DMV visit. I think that could have been resolved better than the way she handled it. And you'll find out what I mean in a second. Bring back in Simone. All right, let's go.
happening is the jobs are just like, look, we're the ones with the upper hand here. You either get with it or you get lost. Now, what I did find interesting about this situation here is I went to go over the comments and they were turned off. So I'm assuming that social media probably had a field day with her explanation of what happened. But to be fair, I don't think she gave a lot of context. And correction, she actually said she lost her job on the second day. Now, as I said, she didn't go too much into detail. However, she did do a part 2 where it says here on the screen, I explained this part really poorly. Well, let me see, does she elaborate?
Yep, that's me, the girl that lost her job on day 2. So my name is Ray, and I want to explain to you guys what happened and just a little bit about myself, because I know I did get a few followers. So, hey, if you're following, maybe you actually like the content and weren't rude about it. So I got this job after my birthday. I specifically told them, hey, I have some things to do, so I will schedule on my birthday. During my birthday, I found out I had a suspended license. My uncle works at a DMV. He says, no problem.
I would have immediately called my employer and asked, can I move my start date from Monday to Wednesday? Because I have an emergency that comes up, I would have done that immediately. As soon as I found out that, because wait, she said she got an uncle at the DMV. Listen what happened. Listen what happened.
Don't worry about it, just come. But then he didn't take into consideration he left on vacation for 2 days. I was counting on my uncle, because if you know anything about DMVs, you're not able to get in. I woke up at 6 a.m. in the morning to get my license fixed, because some people are saying, I could have taken an Uber, I could have taken a ride. I didn't really have money for Uber, hence why we all need a job. And for 2, I could have got a ride. I don't have anyone to take me. For 3, of my license being suspended, I knew that in a short period of time. It was because of an unpaid situation, not because of a character situation, by the way. And for 2, I didn't have any guidance. This is my first time being in that type of situation. Boom, I get it situated. I'm
gonna give her grace in the fact that these are these adulting type of things, right? I always tell people you're not really an adult until you had an eviction notice on your door. Once you get an eviction notice, it changes you. Once you get an eviction notice, it changes you. It should, at least. It changed your boy when he was in college. It fixed a lot of my problems. I grew up that day. That and getting your lights turned off. Those are things that will convert you. They will convert you and change you in a matter, just like you'll get it through revelation or through tribulation. And these are the tribulations. So I appreciate the fact that she's at least acknowledging that, but I'm sorry. I would have called my boss immediately and said, hey, I am not, because, well, here in Georgia, I have to admit, our DMVs are not as bad as most people, as the horror stories that you've heard. They are pretty efficient, but I still would have been like, hey, boss man, I cannot make it in on Monday. I have an emergency coming up. I will be in there on Wednesday with bells on. Do you want me to bring you donuts, coffee, what you need? I'll be there on Wednesday. See you then. That's what I would have done immediately, because she said her uncle wasn't even there. So all of that, uncle still didn't come through. All right. Right. There'd been some filibuster. What are we doing here? Is it filibustering? What are we doing, Kayla? But let's keep it going. Watch this.
To put gas or electricity in the Tesla, I got there 30 minutes late. I communicated this way ahead of time. I had a feeling I was going to be late. Sure. The part where I agree with you is that I came late the second time. The second time I shared bravely enough that I was suffering through pain, cramps. Understandably, women, we go through that all the time. However, that was when I wasn't saying I overslept or, oh my God, periods make you late. I was saying what happened and I was running a few minutes late. I was driving and I didn't reach out to them. That's on me. But I didn't know that a 5-minute deterrent would have got me fired.
Now, the more she elaborates, the more the story becomes a bit more clear. So she wasn't just late one day. She was late essentially 2 days in a row. And I guess
and not just 2 days. Wait, not just 2 days. Her first 2 days. That's the part. Don't let that skip by you. Don't let that slip past you. The first 2 days. So you barely even got your employee handbook. They didn't even print your name tag yet. They didn't even get you the copy code for the copier over outside the break room. You still ain't even got that yet. And you late 2 times.
But what's interesting to me is, respectfully, she said something around the lines of like, oh, I didn't think that 5 minutes was going to get me fired. And she's entitled to think whatever she wants to think. But I will say this, 5 minutes to some people probably isn't nothing, but to others, that's everything. A lot of people expect you to arrive like 15 minutes early so things like this don't happen. But arriving 5 minutes late on your second day.
She made some kind of change to her audio. That's her sound. I don't know. That's Simone. That's not me.
It's like, what are they supposed to expect from you? Are they supposed to expect excuses, lateness? That may have just been the impression they got, and unfortunately, it cost her job. And also, she said she didn't communicate that because she was driving, which definitely don't be texting and driving and things of that sort because it's not safe. But she showed up late and they didn't even know why she was late. Come to find out, she had blood on the leaves. You know what I mean? And I understand it's hard times out here, especially during that time of the month. My. But to be honest, these jobs don't care. They don't care. They don't want to hear no excuses. They want you to come in, do your job, and leave. For all we know, that 5 minutes that she was late could have meant that somebody else had to stay 5 minutes later, and maybe they didn't want to do that. Who knows? But nonetheless, this is still a learning experience. And so many videos like this have been popping up on TikTok of people just losing their jobs. They're going viral, losing their jobs. And the reasoning of why they're losing their jobs is beyond me sometimes. At this point, it might need to be studied. But let me see why else this may have happened.
I wasn't taking into consideration the attendance policy. They didn't explain to me their attendance policy. And if it was so high to that extreme, I thought they would have made the brevity of that situation a little bit.
First of all, it's not brevity, it's severity of the situation. Ma'am, you were there 30 minutes late the first day when they probably went over attendance policy. Do they really have to tell you about attendance policy? I'm being for real. Really. You attend class, you attend work, you attend a ball game, you attend all these other things. Did somebody have to tell you an attendance policy for the Beyonce concert? Did somebody have to tell you the attendance policy for making sure there's food in your refrigerator? No, you just know that you got to do these things. I don't need an attendant. I don't need somebody to explain, and definitely not my employer to explain to me the attendance policy, ma'am. And please understand the policy. Lateness should be ingrained from the beginning. But let's go.
Higher.
Now, ma'am, I'm not gonna lie. This is where you lost me. They needed to explain to you the attendance policy. The standard of not being late and being on time, in my humble opinion, this shouldn't have to be explained by an employer. And y'all can disagree with me in the comments, and feel free if you want to fight about it, you know what to do. But I feel like this starts at home. And fight with your mom, because they the ones that need to teach. Fight with your your dad, whoever was in charge of instilling the morals, the principles, and the character into you. Because I feel like that is who should be telling you it's important to be on time, not the job. Not the job, ma'am, they don't know you from a can of paint. You knew. You new to the team. They don't want to have to babysit. Like whatever the job is you got hired to do, they want you to do that job, learn whatever's in the employee handbook, the SOP, whatever, and get straight to work. They don't need to explain to you the tardiness policy. And something tells me that this is in the fine print somewhere that a lot of y'all don't like to read. When you're onboarding for the job, they probably have all of this in like saying, hey, I agree to the terms and conditions as somebody who's going to work at X, Y, and Z. And now that's a head scratcher, what she said.
Quicker. I do think, in my opinion, that situation, they didn't hear me out. They didn't care for my reasoning. It doesn't matter. All I'm saying is that you cannot look at a 60-second video and assume someone's character. I didn't appreciate comments saying I'm irresponsible. I don't deserve a next job. You're not.
Okay. Now in that regard, I'm definitely not that team. I believe that this is a learning opportunity for her. I definitely would not say she doesn't deserve a job or whatnot like that. I think you're going to learn. You learned a lesson. Learn your lesson, write it down, don't forget it again, and go on and move on. Like, so the people saying that to her, yeah, they're kind of foul. But let me hear how Simone said it.
Not going to get another job laughing at me. I don't think that's productive in any means. And I think that speaks more about your character than mine, because
I don't think it's very kind to wish bad on someone. And if that's what she's saying, I agree. I do also separately think that many people may have made an assumption based off of the videos that she presented. And even in this part too, it's like, ma'am, it could be argued that even her expectation of her past employer needing to explain the tardiness policy to her could speak to her character. And I mean that in the nicest way. Is it, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, universally, is it being late a problem or no? Like, if it's 5 minutes, let me know. Is that not a big deal to you or people that you know, or is that just like a normal Tuesday? Because I didn't think someone needed to explain that, but I do also understand we are all very different and we all think different, which is why I love talking to different people and hearing different perspectives. And it's not to shame her, it's actually to ask a question, because it reminds me of that other video where the woman was late for getting her haircut. Do y'all remember that? And she wasn't necessarily saying it was like the best thing ever that she was late. She was just like, I wasn't that late. Like, why couldn't she work with me? People are late in Wisconsin all the time. And we was like, girl, this is LA. What you talking about? But this is very similar. The fact that perhaps many people don't see that as a problem or even see it as disrespectful or something that's looked down upon, especially being that this is your employer. This isn't somewhere you were getting a service. This is somewhere you work that can give you administrative action and repercussions for your lateness, i.e. firing you. I'm just trying to understand, y'all. I really am.
As I was open and honest, and the last thing I wanted to say was, it was a thought passing. I wanted to make an OTD. I didn't make an OTD. You see my account. I didn't make an OTD, guys. I was saying I was confident of day one because of my performance outside of me coming late, because there are other factors that determine whether you get to stay at a job, not always punctuality.
And that's true. And I'm not sure if she did in fact do the outfit of the day and that was the causation of her being late. I can't confirm nor deny, but if that was the case, that would be very interesting. If it was on the same day, like your first day, and say you were running 10-15 minutes late on the first day. And can you imagine that being your first strike and you were flicking it up in the mirror in your work outfit, and because you were doing that instead of heading to work, you gave yourself strike one, and then the next day, you had blood on the leaves, and you were struggling to get by, and you was walking a little slow, which I understand, the DMV thing, all of this, and so you were late again, allegedly. It's just a lot. And they don't care. They don't care nothing about you need to be at the DMV. They don't care nothing about your license being suspended. They don't care nothing about you having blood on the leaves or your outfit of the day. They don't. They care about when you clocking in. When are you clocking in? How long can you stay? How long can we use you? It's a business. It's actually not anything personal. And to be fair, she looks fairly young. I could be wrong, but she looks young. And like unfortunately, that is what we're seeing happen to a lot of the younger people.
I understand there's a probation period. I was saying from my point of view, if you want me to do a view of employer's point of view, I could actually do that for humor purposes. So if I'm stumbling over words or I may sound nervous, I didn't expect that video to blow up. I am a creator of less than 10,000 followers, 1,000 followers, if that. I don't even know how much I'm standing. I think I have 700 something at this time period. So if you took the time to watch this video in totality, you understand that I'm a person that strives to have good character. I was honest. I'm not making excuses for what I did. I'm simply explaining what occurred on day one, and day two didn't exist because I got there late. And I was saying, yeah, I got fired for being late. And whether I agree with that, it doesn't matter. I'm stating the facts, not here to debate you guys. Appreciate you guys for all the love and the people who did say, hey, maybe firing her off the first day wasn't that smart, or it could have been handled differently. It doesn't matter. I make other content. I'm still living my life. I actually did an interview that same day, by the way. Very resilient. And that's one thing about me. No matter what type of comments you guys will make, doesn't really matter because it doesn't change who I am and who I put my identity in, which is Jesus Christ. So anyway, I love you guys, but Jesus loves you more. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.
Now, I do want to say this. I wish her well on her job hunt.
Wanted to get a job,
I think instead of the many people who probably were poking fun at her, I think it would be better and wiser to just see these case studies. That's what I'm gonna call them. These case studies that happen on TikTok and say, you know what can I learn from this? Going into the real world to be a better person. We all make mistakes. We all do stuff. Sometimes it's like, why did I do like that? Was so stupid. Even me. I mean, everybody. So sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, let this just be a reminder for all of us to strive to show up in the world in a way that we would like to be perceived, in a way that's favorable, by doing things that would give that impression, by not being late, by trying to be on time. I understand stuff happens to everybody, but it is critical during the first couple of days of work. You got to show them something, y'all. They don't know you enough to want to keep you yet. They really don't. I have seen people that, because over time of them working somewhere, they can get away with a lot, because when it comes down to it, their employer knows,
you want that for tomorrow or tonight or
something done, this person is going to do it. They're going to come through. They're going to pull through. So if anything happens to that person, they look out for them. And we all know people like that at work. You might even be that person at work.
Let me get that.
I'm saying is the first couple of days, you don't got no skin in the game yet. So it makes it easy to just like let you go. And you might be an amazing worker. You might have great character, but they don't know that. All they know is what they're seeing, which is why it's important to try to make a great impression from the beginning.
Whatever you do, folks, if you have a job, keep that job. It don't matter. Don't make that mistake thinking, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I can get a new job. No, not in this economy, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do it. Don't listen to the lies. Don't listen to that. We'll keep that job.
What I found interesting about this video here is this is ironically a video she made before losing her job that she ended up getting, and she's telling everyone something that many of us may believe: keep the job. But what do you do when you lose the job and it's mainly your fault? Man, so I agree with her. Do what y'all need to do to make sure you can get by, because it is hard for a lot of people right now. It is. I am wishing her well. That was very ironic, I must say. I need to know what y'all think about all this down below. Do we as a society have an issue with people being late? Is it as big of a deal as people say? If it's just 5 minutes, is that too much? Is 10 minutes too much? What is the range of being late that becomes unacceptable? I need y'all to comment the minutes down below, because now I have questions. Genuinely.
Not the minutes.
We got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.
Not the minutes. My girl said, give me the minutes. All right. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about being tardy? Is it that bad? Are we making too much out of it? What do y'all think? Comment down below. What do y'all think? And hear me, I'm the guy that is anxious about being tardy. I get very bothered about being tardy, being late. It's a joke. If Jason's late, he don't want to be there. That's how they look. Hey, and I've been late places, but it trust me, I gave people fits about me still being at home, and we supposed to be there at what time? We supposed to be there at 6:30, and we sitting right here. I'm giving people fits. Trust me, I'm making people miserable. Yeah, and again, like we're still on day 1 and day 2. We're still in probationary period. We don't even know your name yet. You have not got the copy code for the copier yet. It just don't work. Is there a phobia about being late? I'm pretty sure I have it. I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up. Let me know. I'm pretty certain that I have that phobia. It's real. I know it. I think so. I don't think that's a reach. I don't think that's a reach. I do think it's, yeah, I think it's bad. 5-minute policy after scheduled time to start and stop. Okay. See, I agree with you 1000%. Not a phobia. It's not a phobia. A coping mechanism for anxiety. It creates anxiety. It creates anxiety in me. Like literally, my hands are sweating. If I could show you like my desktop, like I'm leaving handprints because my hands are sweaty because I'm thinking about being late places. Like the thought of that is making me anxious. I'm gonna look at my Whoop. I'm pretty sure my heart rate is up because I'm thinking about being late. Oh, I didn't update my thing today. It says I'm in a high stress position. My heart rate is up. It's called the white rabbit syndrome. What is that? Don't tell Omar. Don't tell Omar. Yeah, that was the first day. Wait, what? The first day? See? Look, I want the young lady to find a job. But again, to me, this is not a non-recoverable situation. She just got to learn from it. I pray she learned from it. She got a good job and went ahead and is doing great things and is moving on from here. But that's, to me, I think it's pretty bad, in my opinion. And I don't fault the employer at all. Not one bit. I had to bring Umar back in. We got to throw a hat tip to Umar. Umar, for sure. For sure, y'all. But thank y'all so much. And by the way, I want to say thank you to everybody who grabbed a t-shirt or a hoodie or all that kind of stuff from the merch store this past the month of July. Thank you so much. I'm letting you know that September is coming and I'll be celebrating 5 years of podcasting in September. So there will be some new amazing things coming. So go ahead and grab yourself some stuff. Get your I Stand With Erica Kurt shirt. I dropped the price on that and all that kind of good stuff. It's getting cold somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's cold somewhere. So you need a hoodie. Grab yourself a hoodie or 2 or 5, all that kind of good stuff like that. So grab that. Wait. Oh, I thought you said you were being late. Like, Lord. But please, absolutely. Thank you all so much to everybody who grabbed something out of the store this month. Thank you so much. Go ahead and grab some more stuff. I appreciate y'all. Let's get to it. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.